Hi all, and welcome to this third video of the module, in which we are going to talk about exploiting linked data. That is, taking advantage of the data we have published following the semantic web and linked data principles to build user experiences. What's the purpose in general of publishing linked data? Sometimes data has value as it is, so it's worth it to publish it and make it available to the users. But some other times we would like to build some user experiences on top of it. That is, building desktop applications or services or phone applications that uses our data or the data available on the linked data cloud to provide a user experience. For that, we have different tools which we introduced in the previous videos. We have services such as, for example, Virtuoso for storing our data, or Pavi, for example, for a graphical navigation of our data, or APIs such as Gina or Sesame, in this case for Java, for building our applications. Using these technologies, there are several tools available online that we can use for exploiting our data. Among the most popular ones, we have the ones that uses geographical information, such as, for example, in this case, Map for RDS, which is a tool for visualizing RDF geographical data. So it integrates Google Maps and other maps, and it is able to draw points on those maps representing information from our RDF. So if we use vocabulary such as, for example, WGS84 that we introduced on the previous video, and link the points that are represented using this vocabulary to other resources, we can automatically draw them on maps and relate these points, the information of these points, to other information. So, for example, if we have meteorological data, such as in this case, we can relate them to the different points on the map, and once we click in each one of them, we will get this sort of information or any other kind of graphical representation. A good example of how to exploit linked data, and that it is really illustrative, is the 360 project, in which they collect data from different entities, from different cities and different points of interest, and allow you to query this data. They provide also a tool called Explore MI 360, in which we can navigate graphically this data and see at the same time the Sparkle queries that are powering the tool. So if we go to this website here, we will get information, semantic information, about Milano City stored on RDF. So when we open the portal, the first thing that we have to do, if we want to see how things are working underneath, is go to Menu here and enable Advanced mode and Developer mode as well. So once we have done that, we can go and start exploring the different places and events that are available on the portal. So here, as we see, we are getting all the events and places that are available in our dataset. We can draw them in a map, following the same principles as we introduced for Map for RDS. So we have here geographical information that we are depicting on a map, and to get this information, to get the information about all these places, we are using a Sparkle query. So this is the Sparkle query that is getting all the data out of our dataset. We are getting all the places from this graph, and we are retrieving information such as, for example, the RDFS level, or the location using these properties, or even description using properties from the 60 vocabulary. This is a query over a name graph, as we introduced on the Sparkle module, and we have here different optional, as well as we introduced on the Sparkle module. So here we see how we are getting description from schema description only if it is available, or information about the poster, that is the image for representing the event or the location, sorry, and information about its geolocation if it is available, so we can put it on a map. With this query, we are getting all these results. We can filter these results as well, for example, saying that we want only places that are within a category. We select category, and we will get all the categories that are available on our dataset. For that as well, we are using an Sparkle query. So we are retrieving here the category, that is anything that is related by means of any of these two properties with a category. That's the categories we are getting, and we will get not only the category as cat read, that is the label of this category, and as well as its URI. So we will use the cat read and its URI to power this list. So from here we select, for example, let's say shop and service, and we will get narrower results. We are getting less results. So these are all the places that have this category, which is powered as well again by an Sparkle query. So in this Sparkle query, here we see how we are filtering that the venue in this case has to be related with either of these properties, business type or business type top, with the precise category that we retrieve, the URI that we retrieve on the previous step. So all the things here are shop services. We can add more filters using different parameters, such as, for example, again the category, or that the average points that the place has. So we can say that at least I want them to be 3 out of 5 or things like that. And again, this will be powered by Sparkle queries. So this is a really good example of how to exploit linked data, in which we can see what is happening underneath step by step. Go ahead and explore the many features that the portal provides. With this, we conclude this video and this module, in which we have introduced how to publish and exploit linked data. There are different pointers and documentation on the additional materials on the platform. All the features that we have seen on this last example, for example, are supported by the technologies and principles that we have introduced throughout the course. Thanks for watching.